Good afternoon and welcome to today's matchup between the Cuba City Cubans and the Viroqua Blackhawks. This is a regional semifinal match, I believe. Starting things off for Cuba City, the 1-2-3 top of the order is Gavin Vossen, Tyson Richard, and Braden Joel. We'll introduce the defense right now. Tyler Quackenbush going to work on the mound with Matthew Wesson behind the plate, Alex Hoyam at first, Jack Dahl at second, Miles Fry playing shortstop, Jack Olson at third, and the outfield, Braden Peterson in right, Connor Matheson in center, and Ben Zom in left. And the shortstop, Gavin Vossen, will lead things off for the Cubans. First pitch from Quackenbush. High in the zone for strike one. And that'll be popped up out of play for strike two. 0-2 the count to Vossen. Quackenbush ahead in the pitch count already. Now we'll see what he comes back with. Foul back. Still 0-2. The pitcher, Tyson Richard, on deck. And in the hole, Braden Joel, the first baseman. The down low and inside for ball one. 1-2 the count. Pitch for Quackenbush. Foul back. Count remains 1-2. Pitch for Quackenbush. A high fly ball to right field and caught by Braden Peterson for out. Number one. Now the pitcher, Tyson Richard. Pitch from Quackenbush, fouled back and caught by Weston for strike one. Sorry, I can't enlighten you guys much with stats from the year. I really don't have anything in front of me to draw from. That's going to be an outside, but called a strike. So it's 0-2 the count to Richard. Nobody on, one away. Top of the first inning. Pitch fouled back. 0-2 still the count. As a high fly ball to Ben Zom in left field and will be caught for out number two. So 2 up, 2 down so far for the Cubans. Braden Joel, the first baseman, now up to the plate. That's going to be low, ball one. Talon Van Natta on deck. And Andy Waffleholes in the hole. 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch from Quackenbush swung on and missed. Strike one. Quackenbush wind up in the pitch, and that is going to be hit right to Zom for out number 3. So the Cubans go 3 up, 3 down. Nobody on, no hits, no runs. Of course, no one left on base. We will be back with Viroqua's top of the order. And starting things off for Viroqua will be the shortstop, Miles Fry, when we return. Welcome back. Starting things off for the bottom half of the first inning is the shortstop, Miles Fry. First pitch, high, ball 1. Pitching is Tyson Richard for the Cuba City Cubans. Catching is Andy Laffaholes. First baseman is Braden Joel. Second base is Elliot Cummings. Third base is Talon Van Netta. Shortstop is Gavin Vossen. Pitch swung on and hit, and that's going to be a single for Miles Fry. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jack Olson. The outfielders for Cuba City, Cameron Guler in left field, Henry Cruiser in center, and Ethan Abrath in right. It's a high fly ball to short center field, and that will be caught by Cruiser for out number 1. No advancement on Miles Fry. That'll bring up Tyler Quackenbush, the pitcher. On deck is the cleanup hitter, center fielder Connor Matheson. Pitch swung on and hit right to first base, but that will advance Miles Fry down to second. We got a runner in scoring position. Connor Matheson, the center fielder, up to bat with 2 away in the bottom half of the first inning. Pitch swung on and hit. It's a high fly ball to center field, and Cruiser able to get underneath it for out number 3. So Viroqua will end the first inning on 1 hit, no runs, 1 left on base. We will come back with Cuba City, and starting things off will be the third baseman, Talon Venata, when we return. Starting things off the top of the second inning for Cuba City, the third baseman, Talon Venata. First pitch from Quackenbush swung on and missed. Strike 1. Swung on and hit to the shortstop, Miles Fry. Be picked up and thrown out for the 6-3 putout. And out number 1.
The catcher, Andy Leffelholz.
So the catcher, Andy Leffelholz, up to bat. One out. First pitch from Quackenbush. Swung on and hit up the middle for a base hit. And the first hit of the day for the Cubans. Now we have the center fielder, Henry Cruiser, with a man on first. I don't know why we're a little intermission there, checking the notebook. First pitch from Quackenbush swung on and hit, and that will be picked up by Miles Fry. 6-4 put out on Cruiser. And Lawful Holes will hold at first.
Check that. Interference calls for third out.
Oh, interference.
In the top half of the second. No runs.
There we go.
One hit.
So they got Lawful Holes on an interference call.
We remain tied at 0.
So this would be
Interference on the runner. Runner was interfered with the shortstop coming through.
6-4 and interference. All right. So no runs on one hit. No one left on base. We'll take a quick break and come back with the bottom half of the second inning after this. Leading off the bottom half of the second inning will be the catcher, Matthew Weston. Score remains 0-0. Both teams each have, I don't think they called that last one a hit. So I guess Viroqua's right now is the only actual hit on the game, which that doesn't seem right. That was a legitimate hit, that first Lawful Holds. Well, count is 1-1 to Weston. Blackhawks left a runner on second last inning. And he's going to hit a little chopper to the shortstop. And the throw will be on time. Six-3 put out. Right fielder Braden Peterson now up in the box. He is followed by the left fielder Ben Zom. Swung on and missed, strike one. Another swinging strike two. 0-2 the count to Peterson. One out, nobody on. The pitch from Richard, swung on for strike three. Now with two away, that'll bring up the left fielder, Ben Zom.
The left fielder, Ben Zom.
That's going to be a ball on the outside. Zom is the number 7 hitter, followed by the second baseman, Jack Dahl, and first baseman, Alex Hoyam. Second pitch, a ball, 2-0 the count, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. The pitch from Richard, be a called strike one. Swung on and hit down the first base line. That will be at the warning track for strike two. 2-2 to count to Zom. Here's the windup and the pitch. Inside, ball 3. Full count to Zom. And the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit. And that will be caught by Aberath in right field for out number 3. So Viroqua goes 3 up, 3 down. No runs on no hits, no one left on base. We will take a 0-0 score into the top of the third and be back right after this. Welcome back. Starting things off in the top of the third inning for the Cubans will be the DH Peyton Calvert. He is batting for the second baseman Elliot Cummins. Cummins, I'm sorry. First pitch swung on and hit. It's a little blooper to second base, and Jack Dahl will back up and make the out. One away. Brings up the number 8 batter, the right fielder, Ethan Aberath. And following him, the number 9 batter, Cameron Guller. First pitch fouled off for strike 1. Pitch count is even right now between the two pitchers at 19. Called strike 2 on Abrath. Quackenbush ahead in the count. It's going to go high and upstairs for ball 1. Swung on and fouled back and caught for out number 2. And that'll bring up the 9 batter, Cameron Guller, the left fielder. First pitch from Quackenbush, fouled back for strike 1. High upstairs, ball 1. Will be just outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Guller. That's going to be outside for ball 3. 3-1 the count. Made it all the way to the third inning before we had more than 2 balls to any batter from Quackenbush. That'll be a called strike 2. Full count. We have the top of the order on deck with Gavin Vossen. And that'll be swung on and hit to right field, and it'll bounce right in front of Peterson for a single. And that'll bring up the top of the order, the shortstop, Gavin Vossen. Vossen flew out to right field in the first inning. And now with a runner on first, left-handed Quackenbush will check the runner. And he'll check the runner at first, Guller. Not too much of a lead. It's going to be high and away, ball 1. A quick throw over to first. Finds Guller safe. I'd move the camera, but I don't want to make anybody seasick. 1-0 the count. Pitch from Quackenbush. Be a strike one. Evens count up at one apiece. Guller, the second runner on for the Cubans. Another throwback to first. Sure seem to be worried about Guller. One and one the count to Vossen. He's going to throw over to first again. And again. And the pitch. Well, off-speed pitch didn't drop quite far enough for ball two. Two and one the count. That'd be fouled back over the pavilion here to even the count up at two apiece with 2 outs and a runner on first. Still scoreless, top of the third inning. Time called by Vossen. Now he steps back in the box. And pitch swung on and missed for strike three. So no runs on one hit, no errors. One left on base for Cuba City. That'll bring up the bottom of the third inning, and starting things off for the Blackhawks will be the second baseman, Jack Dahl, when we return. Starting things off at the bottom of the third inning for the Blackhawks is the second baseman, Jack Dahl. First pitch, a called strike one. Second pitch will be swung on and missed for strike two. Outside, ball one. Tyson Richard is about 10 pitches behind Quackenbush right now, but we're not quite through the third inning. That pitch fouled back. Count is still 1-2. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike three. And the first out of the inning, that'll bring up the first baseman, Alex Hoyam, with the leadoff hitter, Miles Fry, on deck. This pitch from Richard. Inside for strike one. Outside, ball one. Lineup and the pitch, low for ball two. 2-1 the count to Hoyam. Swung on and hit to right center field. That'll go back to the warning track. And Hoyam will be safe at second base with a double. That'll bring up Miles Fry, who singled in the first inning. Checks the runner at second, swung on, and it's a high fly ball to center field. Actually, that's going to go over kind of more toward right center, and the second baseman, Elliot Cummings, will come up with that. No advancement on the runner and Hoyam. And bring up the third baseman, Jack Dahl, who popped out to center field in the first inning. That is a high fly ball that's going to be near the warning track and caught just in foul territory by the right fielder, Ethan Abrath. So no runs on one hit, one left on base for the Blackhawks. The score remains 0-0 as we head to the top of the fourth inning. More when we return. Tyson Richard will lead off the top of the fourth inning. He popped out to left field back in the first. He's 0-1 on the day. First pitch from Quackenbush comes in. Ball one. That's going to catch the outside corner for strike one. No pitch. Time was called by the batter, Tyson Richard. That pitch is popped up foul. For strike two. 1-2 the count to Tyson Richard. The first baseman, Braden Joel, on deck, and Talon Van Etta, the third baseman, in the hole. This is a little chopper to Jack Dahl at second. And the 4-3 put out is good for out number one in the inning. That'll bring up the first baseman, Braden Joel. One away here in the top of the fourth. Joel also popped up to left field in the first inning. That's going to miss the outside corner for ball one. Pitch from Quackenbush. Low and inside for ball two. That's going to be hit down the third base line, picked up by Jack Olson, and out at one for the 5-3 put out, and out number two in the inning. Second baseman, or third baseman, Talon Van Etta, who grounded out on a 6-3 put out in the second inning. First pitch from Quackenbush, swung on and hit the gap right up the middle, picked up by Fry for the 6-3 put out. So Cuba City goes 3 up, 3 down on 3 infield grounders in the top of the fourth. So no runs on no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We'll come back with the bottom of the fourth inning, and leading things off for the Blackhawks will be the pitcher, Tyler Quackenbush. Starting things off is the pitcher, Tyler Quackenbush. Quackenbush grounded out to the pitcher, or shouldn't say that. He popped up to the pitcher in the first inning. That's going to be a high fly ball. Second baseman Elliot Cummins coming in to make the grab for out number 1. That'll bring up the center fielder Connor Matheson. He is followed by the catcher Matthew Weston. So 1 out, nobody on. First pitch going to be a called strike 1 to Matheson. That's going to be a little chopper over to left field for out number 2. And now the catcher, Matthew Weston. Weston grounded out short in the second inning. So 2 away, nobody on. Bottom of the 4th inning. Score is 0-0. First pitch to Weston. Upstairs for ball 1. The windup in the pitch from Richard. Gonna miss outside, ball 2. Braden Peterson on deck with 2 away. Third pitch to Weston, grounded down the third baseline. It was a clean pickup. And they got him on the 5-3 putout. So the Blackhawks go 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. After 4 complete, the score is 0-0. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, we will have the catcher, Andy Luffleholes, leading things off. Top of the 5th inning is going to be led off by the catcher, Andy Luffleholes, followed by center fielder Henry Cruiser, and the DH Peyton Calvert will be the 5, 6, 7 part of the order to start things off in the 5th. That'll be fouled back by Luffleholes for out, or strike number 1. Luffleholes had the first hit for the Cubans. Little gap right up the middle over second base. That'll be caught by the pitcher, and the quick 1-3 putout for out number 1 in the inning. Center fielder Henry Cruiser who had an interference call. No, Luffleholes had the interference. First pitch swung on and missed, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2 for Cruiser. He's fouled by the DH Peyton Calvert, who's batting for Elliot Cummins at second. 0-2 the count, nobody on. Here's the pitch from Quackenbush in the dirt, ball 1. Trying to get him to chase. One and two the count. Cruiser swung on and fouled straight down. He is still alive, 1-2 the count. Pitch from Quackenbush. Just gonna miss. Ball 2. That evens count up at 2 apiece to Cruiser. And a big swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 2 in the inning. That'll bring up the DH, Peyton Calvert.
Peyton Calvert.
Calvert popped up to second in the second inning, and he's going to ground ball right to the pitcher, Quackenbush, for another 1-3 put out and out number 3 in the inning. The Cubans go 3 up, 3 down. No runs on no hits, no errors, no one left on base. Feel like a broken record after saying that a few times. We'll be back with the bottom half of the 5th inning, and that will be led off by the right fielder, Braden Peterson. The right fielder, left-handed batter, Braden Peterson, going to start things off at the bottom of the 5th inning for the Blackhawks. Peterson struck out in the second. First pitch is going to be swung on and fouled down the first base line for strike number 1. And a good hold on Peterson for ball number 1. 1-1 the count. The pitch from Richard. Going to catch the bottom part of that strike zone for strike number 2. 1-2 the count. Richard shakes off the first 3 pitches. And that's going to be fouled back. Strike 2.5. That's going to be a little too far upstairs. And that'll be ball 2. 2-2 the count. No outs, nobody on. Top of the 5th, or bottom of the 5th inning. And that's going to miss outside to bring the count to full. And here's the payoff pitch from Richard. Swung on, foul back. Here's the payoff pitch. Outside for a walk. That'll bring up Ben Zom, the left fielder. Back in the second inning, he popped up to right field. So no outs and a runner on first. Richard checks the runner. And will be a shown bunt foul back for strike 1. Richard checks the runner, shown bunt. That's going to be bunt right down. Third base going to come over and pick that up. That'll move Braden Peterson over to second, and on the sacrifice, on the bunt, I should say, be a 5-3 put out for out number 1. But now we have a runner on second base, and the second baseman, Jack Dahl, up to bat, struck out back in the 3rd inning. And that's going to be bunted foul down the first base line. So 1 out, runner on second. Jack Dahl in the box with Alex Hoyam, the first baseman, on deck. Checks the runner, and they're going to bunt again down the first base line, and nobody's covering first. And the throw to third gets away, but they're gonna keep Peterson on third. And I don't know, do you call that an error? Dahl bunts. No one covers first. He finds his way over to second. Braden Peterson is held up at third, even though there was an overthrown, but he just was in a bad position. Now Hoyam with one out, runners on second and third. Hoyam doubled back in the third inning. That was Viroqua's second hit of the game, but he was stranded at second. That's going to be a high fly ball. They're probably going to be looking to tag the third, and they're going to hold him up. That catch is made by Cruiser for out number 2. And that brings up Miles Fry, the shortstop and leadoff hitter, with 2 runners on. Fry singled in the first, popped up to second in the third. He is 1-1 on the day. Here's the pitch from Richard, and that's going to be chopped over to third base, and they will make the 5-3 putout. They're going to call that a hit, that bunt from Jack Dahl. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base for the Blackhawks. After 5 complete, the pitch count is almost even at 50 for Quackenbush and 52 for Tyler Richard. We will be back to start things off in the top of the 6th inning, and leading things off for Cuba City will be the number 8 batter, right fielder Ethan Abrath. Top of the 6th inning for the Cubans, the right fielder Ethan Abrath. He is followed by the left fielder Cameron Guller. First pitch, low, downstairs, ball 1. Abrath struck out in the 3rd inning. That's going to be low, ball 2. So 2-0 the count, top of the 6th inning. Score is 0-0. And that's going to be fouled over the first base line into the parking lot for strike 1. That's going to be fouled back into the parking lot as well for strike 2. That'll even the count up at 2 apiece for Abrath. And a swinging strike 3 for out number 1. That'll be a little blooper to center field. Connor Matheson getting underneath it for out number 2. That was Cameron Guller. That'll bring up the top of the order, Gavin Vossen, the shortstop, who is 0-2 on the day with a pop-up to right field and a strikeout in the 3rd. So 2 out, nobody on. The pitch from Quackenbush, called strike 1. The windup and the pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2. 1-2 the count. The pitch from Quackenbush in the dirt. Ball 1. Swung on and hit to Jack Dahl at second. And the easy flip for the 4-3 put out, and out number 3. No runs on no hits, no errors, no one left on base. Bottom of the 6th inning for the Blackhawks will be led off by the third baseman, Jack Olson, in just a moment. Starting things off in the bottom of the 6th inning is the third baseman, Jack Olson. Olson 0 for 2 on the day with a pop-up to center and to left or to right field. And he'll watch a called strike 1 come across the plate. It is the 2-3-4 part of the order. It's Jack Olson, Tyler Quackenbush, Connor Matheson. And that'll be fouled back for strike 2. Little chopper to the shortstop, and he's going to beat the throw out from Vossen for a single to start things off in the 6th inning for the Blackhawks.
Pitcher, Tyler Quackenbush.
So that'll bring up the pitcher, Tyler Quackenbush. Quackenbush popped out to the pitcher and second base. He's going to show bunt, pull it back for ball 1. Jack Olson on first, Tyler Quackenbush in the batter's box, and the cleanup hitter, Connor Matheson, on deck. Richard checks the runner. It's going to be inside. That is ball 2. I guess that first one was a ball. We're 2-0 the count to Quackenbush. That is fouled straight up, and I think we might run out of room, but the catcher, Lawful with the catch behind the plate for out number 1. Center fielder Connor Matheson, who's popped up twice, once to center field, once to left field. He's 0-2 on the day, and Matthew Weston on deck. Jack Olson on first base, and that'll be popped up out of play by Matheson for strike 1. On 1 the count to Matheson. Richard checks runner. Time is called by Matheson. So 1 on, 1 away in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Blackhawks. Pitch from Richard, and that is a shot to right center field. And that will bounce off the fence and score Olson, and that is a triple for Matheson. And the first run, the Blackhawks are on the board here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that'll bring up the catcher, Matthew Weston. He is 0-2 on the day with a ground out to third and to short in the 2nd and 4th innings. So 1 out, runner on third in Matheson. The first pitch from Richard is called strike 1. That shot from Matheson hit about a third of the way up on the fence. If you'd had just a little bit more mustard on that, it would have went right over. That's going to be low, ball 1. 1-1 the count to Weston. Peterson on deck, Zom in the hole for Viroqua. Pitch shown bunt, and that's going to be a suicide squeeze. And they will get the run across the board. And that is a sack bunt. And that is a 1-3. And an RBI for Weston. Now with 2 outs, Blackhawks are up 2-0. That brings up Braden Peterson, who struck out in the second, walked in the 5th. He was hung out to dry at third base back in the 5th inning. First pitch, ball 1 to Peterson. So 2-0 the count to Peterson. That's a high ball 3. The windup and the pitch from Richard, called strike 1. 3-1 the count. And that is swung on and missed. Bring the count to full to Peterson. 2 outs, nobody on. The payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Big inning for the Blackhawks. 2 runs on 2 hits. No one left on base for the Blackhawks. After 6 complete, it is 2-0 Viroqua. And to start off the top of the 7th inning will be the pitcher, Tyson Richard, when we return. Welcome back. Starting things off in the top of the 7th inning for Cuba City will be the pitcher, Tyson Richard. Richard is 0-2 on the day with a pop fly to left field and then grounded out on the 4-3 putout. First pitch from Quackenbush misses outside, ball 1. After 6 innings, the pitchers are still almost dead even. 61 pitches for Quackenbush, 69 for Richard. And that's going to miss low for ball 2. We've been playing for just over an hour. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. And we're almost done with this game. This is a high fly ball. Miles Fry calling everybody off and will make the grab for out number 1. Braden Joel, the first baseman, now in the batter's box. He is followed by the third baseman, Talon Banata. First pitch from Quackenbush, the windup pitch, called strike 1. And that's going to catch almost that same spot for strike number 2. 0-2 the count to Joel. Talon Banata on deck. Andy Luffelholz in the hole. Pitch swung on and fouled back. Count remains 0-2. That's going to be a little chopper missed by the pitcher, but picked up by Fry. And an error. I don't know if they'll count that as an error or not. I don't think the throw was in time. So we'll give that a single for Joel. And bring up the third baseman, Talon Vanetta. Oh, they did call that an error. So they're going to give that an error. So that'll be an E3 on Hoyam. First pitch, a ball with a runner on first to Vanetta. Called strike one. 1-1. The catcher, Lawfulhole's on deck. Henry Cruiser, the center fielder, in the hole. That's going to be upstairs for ball two. That's going to be dropped into right field, and the throw is going to be in time. So that is going to be a 9-6 put out at second. And on the fielder's choice will be Talon Vanetta. So 2 outs now for the Cubans with a runner on first. This is the catcher, Andy Lawfulholes. 2 outs, runner on first. First pitch from Quackenbush, going to catch the outside corner for strike one. That's going to miss outside. 1-1 the count. That's going to be swung on and hit to center. Be picked up by Matheson for a single. And that'll move Vanetta
Center fielder, Henry Cruiser.
to second. So he was called out in the second by the interference on Laffelholtz. So we've got 2 outs, runners on first and second. This is Henry Cruiser, the center fielder, number 6 batter for the Cubans. So 2 out, 2 on. Top of the 7th inning, first pitch is going to be high and inside, ball 1. Time call by the batter. Cruiser steps back in. 1-0 the count. The pitch from Quackenbush. Low, just missed, ball 2. And Coach Nagel's going to come out, have a little talk with his infield. Just kind of settle things down. Blackhawks are up 2-0, but there are 2 runners on, first and second, and 2 outs. Be a force at any base except home. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs to Cruiser. Quackenbush checks the runner at second. The windup and the pitch. Called strike 1. 2-1. Called strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for Cuba City. What could be the last pitch of the game. Quackenbush gets the sign from Weston. Checks the runner at second. The pitch. Fouled down the third base line off the cement bleachers. Looks like it just about hit Jackson Hoyam. Cruiser steps back in the box. 2-2 the count with 2 away. Checks the runner at second. The windup. Swung on and hit back to Miles Fry, who will make the grab. And out number 3. So no runs come across the board on no hits. There was 1 error and 2 left on base for Cuba City. Your final score, 2-0 Blackhawks. The Blackhawks have 2 runs on 5 hits. They committed 1 error and left 4 on base. Cuba City had no runs on 2 hits. They didn't commit any errors and left 3 on. So tomorrow, I believe Viroqua will play, I think, Darlington, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I guess we'll see when we get there. That game will be tomorrow, May 30th. Depends on when you're watching this. So, for your final score, Viroqua 2, Cuba City nothing. On behalf of Western Wisconsin Video Productions, this is Carl Zuli saying we'll see you again on the diamond real soon.